Hey guys, welcome back. Joe Brunsman, insurance broker of the stars. Tonight, a quick one for you, a VoIP saga and why you must read your Tech E&O quotes and renewal quotes. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. A little bit about me. I do a ton of insurance for MSPs. In this case, I'm looking at a Tech E&O renewal for an MSP. And I start going down and I'm looking through the declarations page, seeing if anything's changing. And this little gem pops up. And that's a specified person or entity exclusion endorsement excludes OIT VoIP. And as a disclaimer, I know the guys at OIT VoIP. We're not necessarily like personal friends, but we're acquaintances. I know Ray over there. So that really popped out at me. And I said, why would they specifically exclude OIT VoIP? Now, I'm trying to go back through the application because I'm trying to figure out where did this even arise. And it popped up in this question right here where it says, have there been any changes in services provided in the last 12 months? And in this instance, the insured put down, we became a white label partner with OIT VoIP and resell their VoIP services. So now I'm thinking, that's awfully strange. What are they actually trying to exclude? Well, you'll see here the company, that being the insurance company, they're trying to exclude losses and claims expenses. So essentially saying, hey, we're not going to cover any claim around two things. The first bullet point there, you're going to see that would be if OIT VoIP brought a claim against my MSP. Now, I don't think that's really going to happen. That's also outside the bounds of a Tech E&O policy in most instances. And that's more of just a business dispute, right? So that doesn't really add any weight to the argument here. But then two, it says against any insured based upon yada, yada, yada. So what does that mean? That would mean if some claim arises and it deals with the VoIP service against my MSP, they're going to exclude coverage for that type of claim. So I started thinking about all the different ways that could go sideways, and I'm very, very confused by this point. So my thought process moving forward as I'm trying to unravel this mystery, I'm thinking, shouldn't VoIP services just naturally fall within the definition of professional services, or in this case, more specifically, technology services for an MSP? Now, you're going to want to go back and look at your own definition of technology services. In many instances, I'll probably say 90 some odd percent of the MSPs that come to me, they do not have the appropriate definition there. But you're going to want to go back and just see, would a VoIP service naturally be covered under that definition? In this policy, for this example, it should be covered. So then I started thinking, okay, why would the underwriter exclude OIT VoIP specifically as opposed to just VoIP services in general? So I'm digging around, trying to find on the internet, did something happen to OIT VoIP where suddenly the insurance industry is freaking out? Turns out, no, they didn't. Is there something about VoIP services where the insurance industry is now freaking out and saying, hey, we're not going to cover anything that says VoIP? No, couldn't find anything there. So now I'm going down the path of, can I get the underwriter to reverse this exclusion? And if I can't, what happens, right? The implications of MSPs no longer being able to provide VoIP services is alarming, to say the least. But here is the ultimate resolution, and then we're going to talk about kind of the moral of the story here. After lots and lots of back and forth, I finally get to the point where I realize it's as simple as the underwriter, I don't think they understood what VoIP was. What happened was they saw white labeling of services, they saw an acronym, and they said, okay, per our underwriting guidelines, we are simply going to exclude that coverage. All right, so I'm not, casting afoul of the underwriter here. They're churning and burning as fast as they can. And so that, I think, is where this came from. Ultimately, I did have the exclusion removed. Everybody was happy. I was more tired than usual, but good things all around there. Now, the sad truth about all of this, and this is why I'm making this video here. You'll see this from Insurance Law. It's either 4th or 5th edition. I can't remember which one's on my bookshelf, but it says the following. The default rule is that agents and brokers have no duty to advise insureds about the adequacy or appropriateness of the insurance coverage they purchase. Think about that. General rule, no duty for people in my position to advise you on the adequacy or appropriateness of what you're about to purchase. Further, brokers generally have no duty to explain specific policy terms to insureds. Now, I've tried to do a lot for the MSP community to overcome that, so please look at some of my other videos. I put as much out for free as I reasonably can, but what this means is there's a lot more weight on your shoulders than you probably realized to begin with. So the moral of the story here is trust but verify. Hopefully you trust your insurance broker. If you do, please verify. What do I mean by that? Every single time you get a renewal quote, it's very difficult, obviously, for you to be an expert in insurance. But an easy thing just to start with is to go, okay, declarations page, the first couple pages of last year's quote and the first couple pages of this year's quote. What is different? What has changed? If you see something there or you're still unsure of what you purchased last year, please ask questions, all right? Our job as insurance people is not to just take what you send us, we send it to somebody else, we just forward it, and then it comes back and we just forward that to you. We should be adding more value there. So if you see something you don't understand, or if there's something different, or there's something new, please ask questions. Even if you're already one of my MSP clients, you know, we have a lot of checks in the office here. We have a lot going on. We're trying to make sure we're not missing anything. But at the end of the day, we're human. And frankly, we welcome those questions because we want to make sure you can understand what it is that you're purchasing, because at the end of the day, that's your baby, that's your business. All right. The insurance market for MSPs is very, very tight. I mean, it is narrowing down to the extreme. So more and more exclusions as the years go by are going to be put on that policy. Please do not just blindly renew your insurance policy, your E&O, your tech E&O policy through the years, because things are going to be changing. And I don't want you guys to find out after something bad happens that that coverage could have been removed, or you didn't understand what the rules were, or you could have negotiated for a better policy. So in the specific story that I gave you, if that hadn't been caught, even though as we sit here, we can go, okay, that wasn't a legit exclusion. If that hadn't been caught, and if we had not pushed back against the underwriter to get that exclusion removed and explain what OIT VOIP was, if a claim pops up out of that, the insurance company, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to sit there and they're going to say, thank God we excluded this coverage. The insured agreed to it, so we're not on that claim. All right. Is that fair? Is that just? We can have that discussion on the sidelines, but that's kind of just how it works. All right. If you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, you learned something, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Right above me is another video that the YouTube guys will recommend to you. And if you click right over there, you can subscribe to my channel. All right, guys, with that, stay safe.